Mike, have you ever seen anything like this outside of a courthouse? I mean, this is like, I guess it's indicative of our country where we are politically. People are just mad. What's your take?
Yeah, Ted. For the lead up for this trial, I told everybody. I said, listen, the specter of conspiracy in Boston and the surrounding areas, Massachusetts, is different. It's different. If you ask anybody, hey, do you think that there's corruption in your local city, your police? They'll say, yeah, there's some corruption. Of course, there's always corruption. It's different in Boston. It's different in Massachusetts. It's just unique. It's a whole different. It's a different thing. It's just takes a life of its own from the Whitey Bulger days and the mob and the Irishman. Like, those people distrust their organization and that's why I said Karen Reed was a con artist. She knew all she had to do was throw a flame into the powder keg and light it on fire to deflect attention from herself, because she knew she had free Karen Reed. Give me a break. She's already free. You guys are, anyone who's saying free Karen Reed, look, what are you talking about? She's already free. She's going to make a book deal. She's a liar. She's a charlatan. She's a con artist. And one more thing, Ted, she had every motive to cover this up. I don't believe she had a motive to intentionally kill John O'Keefe, but she had every motive to act after she accidentally hit him to cover it up. And here's the motive. She knew she was drunk. She knew if she called the police, and even if she thought, well, maybe he just broke his leg, I'm going to take off. If they find out later on, they won't know the real thing I'm hiding, which is that I'm drunk. Because if she would have just hit John O'Keefe, and then they tested her blood, and she was at a 0.3 or a 0.25. If she was that drunk, she would have been facing felony aggravated, bodily injury charges in Massachusetts. She would have been facing minimum 5 years, even if he just broke his leg, if she called the ambulance and they tested her alcohol. So she had every motive to go home. And then we know she started pacing around the house, concocting a story, doing Google searches. And then, well, maybe he got hit by a snowblower. Maybe he got hit. Maybe she started coming up with her theory. And so she had every motive to cover this up. And so that's why initially you saw so many people in the courthouse steps saying this was a cover up. We looked at the pictures of John O'Keefe's arm. We're all detectives now. We all know what we're doing. We know there's corruption. It was the Alpers that did it. It was the dog that did it. There's a cover-up. They're covering up for their own. But now you're seeing it shift back towards John O'Keefe, because actual rational people are taking a step back and saying, wait a minute, hold on. You told us for a year and a half that you have all this evidence that's going to blow the lid off this conspiracy and people are going to go to jail. There was nothing.